A cancer treatment being developed in Wellington is putting patients with only months to live into long-term remission. Now, in its final trial phase, the treatment could be ready for public rollout by next year. But there are a few hurdles remaining, as Nicholas Jones reports.
6 years ago, life was miserable for Michelle Leggett. She'd been diagnosed with large B-cell lymphoma cancer, but chemotherapy and radiation treatments didn't work.
I was very, very sick.
So unwell that Michelle, a celebrated author, editor and a New Zealand poet laureate, was unable to write at all.
Have a good one.
By early 2022, Michelle was deteriorating so quickly, her specialist proposed a medical trial run out of Wellington's Mulligan Institute of Medical Research.
There's a research trial in Wellington. They're treating your kind of lymphoma, and they're taking only people for whom everything else has failed. Are you interested?
Later that year, she was given CAR T-cell therapy. A collection of her own cells were removed, genetically modified to recognise and kill lymphoma cells, and then returned back to her body. 3 months later,
They said the amazing words, complete metabolic response, which means it's worked, you're okay, basically remission.
CAR T-cell therapy isn't new. It's been used overseas for almost a decade. In some countries, including Australia, it's publicly funded, but growing numbers of desperate Kiwis with certain blood cancers are paying big sums to go offshore for a chance at survival.
Let's face it, New Zealand's a small market. We've got 5 million people, and that's very much part of the reason that the commercial CAR T-cell companies haven't come here yet.
Clinical Director Professor Robert Winecove says the CAR T treatment developed by the Mulligan is especially sophisticated with fewer dangerous side effects.
This is important because when we have lower rates of those side effects, it means we can manage patients more in the community, so they have a lower likelihood of needing to be admitted to hospital for a long time to manage those side effects. And we think this may make the treatment easier to deliver in the New Zealand healthcare service.
Once the trial wraps, the aim is to manufacture the therapy locally and comparatively cheaply through a company, Aotearoa, set up to commercialise the treatment.
Part of the work that we've been working on with Aotearoa is getting the various groups together, such as Health New Zealand, such as Pharmac, such as MedSafe, and to look together at how is this kind of treatment going to be assessed.
If the regulatory hurdles are overcome, they hope to implement it next year.
We're optimistic that things are going to plan, but of course we won't know till the trial is complete.
Another patient in the trial is Peter Jeffries, who was facing the prospect of palliative care after aggressive chemo for his lymphoma hadn't worked.
At that stage I thought I was going to die, really. It wasn't looking good for me.
Travelling from his home near Greymouth, Peter went to the capital for CAR T therapy. Almost 3 years on, like Michelle, he too remains in remission.
Yeah, no, it was a great result. Yeah, life-saving. Other people are going overseas, America, Asia and Australia to get the treatment, and it is very expensive.
The trial's in its final phase, which will cost over $17 million. If it makes it into the public system, it's estimated around 75 lymphoma patients a year could benefit.
I wouldn't have had those 3 years without the Mulligan CAR T, and I still regard every day it's a bonus. It's pretty wonderful.